Air Niugini yet to decide on Boeing 737 aircrafts. Contract signed for radiotherapy machinery. And Lae Principal starts initiative to safeguard children.
This is the National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Wednesday's news. A head teacher of a level 5 school in Lae says his school has 118 vulnerable children from 552 students attending elementary to grade 8 at St. Martin's Primary School. Sakale Popen conducted a survey last week to find out situations affecting students' learning and noticed that most students are being looked after by their relatives because their parents have left them. This is a new initiative which the head teacher plans to bring to the attention of the Education Division, government departments and organizations to provide services for the children and parents.
This is St. Martin's Primary School. It is one of the Catholic agency schools in Lae and has a population of 552 students and 14 teachers. The school's head teacher, Sakale Popen, was posted here last year from St. Patrick's Primary School, also located in Lae. Mr. Popan has conducted a research into areas that may affect the students' learning in class and found out that the school has 118 vulnerable children.
The father decided a total of 28 students in this school. Their father decided the mother, and the mother is looking after the children. And mother decided father is another interesting, a total number of 18. So we have 18 mothers decided the husband, and the husband is looking after the children. And both decided the children, mother and father decided the children. Children are living with the uncles or boo-boo or whoever. There is a total of 11. That's big enough. That's very bad.
The research was based on whether the students are living with their biological parents and how they are supported by those that they live with. The results show that few students indicated that one of their parents died, while most students said their parents have left them. The head teacher said the problem now is who caters for their needs, whilst it is the parents' responsibility.
So it would be a serious matter because of the rights. Children have the rights. And if these children turn around and sue the mother or the father, it will be a different story.
This study is the second conducted in this school by the head teacher. The first was conducted at St. Patrick Primary School. Poppen said he has shared the information with the National Research Institute in Port Moresby and plans to introduce the initiative to other schools in Lae and Morbe Province. The head teacher said everyone should work together to ensure children's rights are protected at home, school, and the community they live in.
What is the best way for us as Education Department to cater the needs? Not only the Education Department, but there are also Community Development and Youth Office, NGOs, and some other organization, Family PNG, and Child Welfare. All these organizations can come in on board and try to find ways and means to assist these vulnerable students.
Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Lae.
A pilot initiative of the Saving Lives Spreading Smiles project, supported by the Australian government to improve post-mortem hemorrhage management, saw the launch of the non-pneumatic anti-shock garment, or NASG, to enhance maternal health care in PNG. The non-pneumatic anti-shock garment is a low-tech first aid device used to stabilize women who are suffering from severe bleeding and shock. The launch of this life-saving equipment took place yesterday at the Port Moresby School of Medicine and Health Sciences.
Obstetric hemorrhage is one of the leading causes of maternal mortality, which makes PNG the highest rated in maternal and newborn mortality in World Health Organization's record for the Western Pacific region. The first time of dying in pregnancy for a woman in PNG is 1 in every 120 women, which amounts to 2,000 women per year. Emerging technologies are currently being researched and implemented to prevent these unnecessary deaths, and an example of such an innovation is the non-pneumatic anti-shock garment. The device helps women survive delays in getting to a hospital and also decreases blood loss, aiding women to recover from shocks and keeps them alive while awaiting treatment. Minister for Health and HIV Dr. Puka Temu said the government is focusing on reducing high maternal health and neonatal mortality rates in the country.
As Minister for Health, I think you will agree with me that the trends are too slow to come down. To have 2,000 of our mothers leaving their young families behind because of dying from a normal human thing, which is delivery of a child.
The support by the Australian government will enable UNICEF PNG to work with the PNG government to strengthen local capacity in hospitals and health facilities, deliver the packages of maternal and newborn care, and empower communities with skills to care at home. UNICEF, in collaboration with the Department of Health, will work directly with the provincial health authorities, the district authorities, church health services and local non-government organizations to roll out the NASG as part of Saving Lives Spreading Smiles project in all 620 health facilities conducting deliveries. Anet Kora, National EMTV News.
National EMTV News continues with more stories after the break. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Up to 70% of cancer patients require radiotherapy treatment for cancer in PNG. The government agreed to fund a heart and cancer centre at Port Moresby General Hospital through a budget appropriation of 28.5 million kina, which will help to deliver coordinated multidisciplinary cancer treatment as per international best practices. Yesterday, a contract was signed by the PNG government through the National Department of Health and Port Moresby General Hospital with Varian Medical Systems for the procurement of a linear accelerator to provide radiotherapy treatment facilities in PNG.
The announcement is made to reassure the people of PNG that Port Moresby General is on track to providing a modern cancer treatment by the end of this year. Varian is one of the only 2 manufacturers of Linac in the world, where POMGen signed contracts to procure Halcyon, the latest model from Varian. The cancer center will comprise a linear accelerator for radiotherapy, brachytherapy for cervical cancers, chemotherapy, 15 beds and a 100-bedded palliative cancer ward.
As you recall, when I became Minister for Health, the issue of cancer has been a very hot topic for our country. And what happens is many of our people with cancer die, or if they have funding, they go overseas for treatment. And the commitment of the government under the leadership of our Prime Minister, who provided budget support to establish cancer centers in the country, particularly at the Port Moresby General Hospital and the old one in Engau to be rehabilitated. And so in the last year's budget, we committed funds to create cancer centers in those 2 centers. But particularly for Port Moresby General Hospital, we want to bring it to what we call a level 7 hospital.
He said the starting of this and other specialist services will also help to take the existing clinical services to the next level in terms of patient safety and quality.
One of the advantages of this equipment is it's also very quick, which means we can treat a lot of patients during a day, which I think is extremely important at the moment in Papua New Guinea, where we don't have any radiation therapy services.
Hopefully, this vital new service at the Port Moresby General Hospital will help save many lives who cannot afford to go overseas or get private health care. Anet Kora, National EMTV News.
Population Services International Papua New Guinea and Equal Playing Field will be hosting the official launch of the SASA pilot project in Papua New Guinea tomorrow. The event will mark the official launch of SASA in Papua New Guinea. The SASA pilot is a movement to end violence against women in Papua New Guinea and is supported by the governments of Australia and Papua New Guinea as part of the Pacific Women Shaping Pacific Development Program. It is also an opportunity to celebrate a significant milestone for the project, the recruitment and training of PNG's first 100 SASA community activists. More students will have the opportunity to study in tertiary institutions in Philippines this year. Kapanto International University Agency says the program is helpful, with students scoring exceptional grades in their studies. 12 students will travel to the Philippines to further their studies in 6 universities for the 2019 academic year.
The 8 new intakes will be flying to Philippines to further their studies in different fields. International Students Director Mike Mane says the program has started on a slow note with big impact for students in provinces outside Port Moresby.
Put people into universities where they can go study there, and after completion of their studies, yes, we put them through. We place them in job opportunities, especially countries like America, Australia, Japan.
Kapanto International University Agency is affiliated with 6 universities in the Philippines. The agency is based in the Cebu capital with offices in Mount Agen and Port Moresby. The organization sent 8 students in 2018.
So it's about 6 universities that we affiliate PNG students into those of the universities for university studies, according to the interested course program that are offering free semesters, especially 6 calendar months.
Evelyn Kombe is from a school in Cebu province. She will be studying for a bachelor in radiology. She previously studied at the University of Goroka. She says the opportunity must not be missed by students in the country.
I did my science foundation last year at UOG, and now I'm taking bachelor in radiology down at Cebu University.
Interested students can apply online or contact the institution. Kapanto International University Agency is urging students to consider this opportunity as strict requirements will apply for screening and selection.
Grade 12 leavers or the current grade 12 to apply with Kapanto International University Agency, and then they will have a chance to secure space in overseas university to carry on their study level that we are offering in our universities.
Jacob Harvey Jr., National EMTV News.
As a way of keeping up with technology, City Pharmacy Group of Companies has launched a free USSD service today for its Real Reward Plus members. This service will enable their customers to use their mobile phones to check their Real Reward points. Real Reward Plus is a customer loyalty program that CPL introduced in 2003 as a way of rewarding its loyal customers. Currently, there are over 200,000 registered members nationwide using the Real Reward Plus cards.
CPL Group was the first retailer in the country to introduce a customer loyalty program as a way of giving back to their customers. Initially, when CPL's Real Reward program was started, it was only for City Pharmacy customers with a little notebook and sticker forms. In 2011, Real Rewards was upgraded from the manual system of notebook and stickers to an electronic system which expanded to include customers from Stop and Shop and Hardware House.
So a loyalty program was created, and the old method was you get a little book, you get a little sticker, and you stick it on and you get rewards for that. So what we did in 2011, moving on with the technology, we created a Real Rewards Plus, which means we went electronic.
Currently, the RR Plus program is available in 3 major brands of CPL Group: Hardware House and City Pharmacy stores nationwide, and Stop and Shop stores in Port Moresby. CPL Managing Director says the launching of the free USSD service is a way of keeping up with the technology by accessing the service through digital mobile phones, and also a convenient way for the customers.
CPL has got a 3-year digital strategy. So what we want to do is move with the times. As smartphones increase, penetration of communication increases, we want to actually make it easier for our customers. There is no fee to join. It's a free membership, but it's given out on a spend. So you spend 100 kina in the shop and you'll get your card free of charge.
For registered members with the Real Reward Plus card, their reward points will accumulate when shopping with the RR card. With the launching of this free USSD service, customers who are registered can dial *505# and dial to check their reward points.
There you go, so you can do a point balance check.
Customers can redeem their prizes with points as low as 250 up to as high as 25,000 and receive prizes. As the value of the prizes increase, the number of points to redeem prizes also increase. Patricia Chiamo, National EMTV News.
A small school in Hela can now access a new library facility built by the Oil Search Foundation. The library facility at Habare School was opened by Oil Search Managing Director Peter Botten in front of students, teachers and other stakeholders. The library gives nearly 50 students an opportunity to read and write. The local Seventh-day Adventist Church is providing teachers, while Book Bilong Pikinini provides training, mentoring and the curriculum. Another library funded by OSF will also be opened later this year in Kikori Gulf Province. And you're with National EMTV News. Don't go away. We'll be back with more after the break. Welcome back to the news. After the tragic crash of Ethiopian airline Boeing 737 MAX 8 that killed 157 passengers and the crew, more than a dozen countries including Australia, China and Singapore, including Ethiopian Airlines, have grounded the aircraft. Back home here in PNG, the national carrier Air Niugini had placed an order for 4 Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircrafts to join the fleet in 2020. Air Niugini Managing Director Alan Milan told EMTV News that upon a final air crash investigation report, the company will decide if the 737 MAX 8 will join the fleet.
Every one of these planes should be grounded right away. They are accidents waiting to happen.
The aviation industry is questioning if there is anything wrong with the Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft. Only months after the Lion Air 737 MAX 8 leaving Jakarta crashed into the Indian Ocean, killing everyone on board. And now the Ethiopian Airways 737 MAX 8 crashing, killing 157 passengers and crew after takeoff. The crashes have stunned the world as a dozen countries ground all 3 737 MAX 8 fleets.
Well, China has taken the unusual step today of telling its airlines to stop flying the 737 MAX. That's unusual because it's not the lead regulator for the 737, which is built in the US. You would typically wait for the country where the aircraft is actually primarily certified to take the lead.
Our national airline company Air Niugini has told EMTV that they are monitoring the situation closely as the airline company has ordered 4 737 MAX 8.
Look, we're watching very closely what's going on. However, we have the utmost faith in the Boeing product. Boeing have already been in contact with us. They're keeping us in the loop. The investigations for the Ethiopian accident are still ongoing, so until those are completed, we won't really know what the cause of it is. But we're certainly sure that if there's any findings or recommendations from that investigation, that'll all be fully incorporated prior to the aeroplanes being delivered to us. 2020? 2020, yeah, the end of 2020.
While the world awaits the final reports for both Lion Air and Ethiopian Airways, Air Niugini says Boeing has assured by 2020, when the 4 737 MAX 8 arrive, if changes are needed to be done, will be done before 2020.
Confirmed, and we have no problems with that at all. If there are, as I said, if the investigation identifies some deficiencies with either the aircraft itself or the operating procedures, then they'll be rectified well before the aeroplanes are due into our fleet.
Meanwhile, PNG Accident Investigation Chief Commissioner Hubert Namani, in a media statement, said the PNG AIC is closely monitoring the unfolding situations regarding the major crashes of Boeing 737 MAX aircraft operated by Lion Air in Indonesia and Ethiopian Airlines in Ethiopia. Namani wanted to assure PNG citizens and the traveling public that the Boeing 737 aircraft operated by Air Niugini and all operators currently flying Boeing 737 aircrafts to and from Papua New Guinea are not the Boeing 737 MAX model. Lilian Sopera Kinea, National EMTV News.
Meanwhile, New Zealand's Civil Aviation Authority joined a growing list of countries to ground Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircrafts. It means Fiji Airways won't be flying the model in and out of New Zealand. But the global aviation community is divided as the United States refuses to suspend the aircraft amid growing pressure.
At the centre of this catastrophe, there's now increasing division, along with anger and pain. She would have been 25 years old, but God would not allow it, mourns this mother, her daughter a flight attendant killed in the crash. There's anger too over the lead investigator's claims to an American network that data in the retrieved black boxes won't be examined for days.
So you haven't gotten into it yet, you haven't gotten inside of it yet.
The delay by the Ethiopians in reading out these boxes is unconscionable. If there's a problem with the airplane, the world needs to know now and not 5, 6, 7 days from now.
But the world's not waiting. Britain, the EU, Germany and Australia all banning MAX 8s from their airspace, splitting from the FAA's ongoing support for Boeing's short-haul jet.
That the FAA is standing alone with Canada and a few others is testament to their relationship, I think, to the aircraft and to the manufacturer.
It is unprecedented and unusual. Perhaps the FAA are making these decisions based on the information that they have from Boeing. So I can see why it's happened, but it is unprecedented.
Today, our Civil Aviation Authority stopped Fiji Airways MAX 8s flying here, despite expressing confidence yesterday. The authority refusing to discuss its U-turn on camera, in a statement saying it's taken into consideration uncertainty about the cause of the Ethiopian Airlines crash, plus a review of the aircraft design, and that it's monitoring the situation.
It is a safe decision to make, it's a conservative decision to make, and we support that as a pilot group.
In the US, the Furoris reached Congress.
It makes sense to ground an aircraft that's been involved in two very tragic accidents.
Should be immediately grounded until the FAA can assure us that they are safe.
Answers still seem a long way off for those piecing together the lives lost.
Relief became outrage after one of the Catholic Church's top men was sentenced to 6 years jail in Australia. The judge calling Cardinal George Pell's sexual abuse of 2 choir boys brazen, forceful and arrogant. But he took Pell's 77 years and ill health in mind, delivering the punishment some see as weak.
The day of reckoning for a Catholic cardinal. George Pell's punishment for sexually abusing 2 13-year-old boys met with muted celebration.
At least he's in jail.
Australia's highest-ranking Catholic was facing up to 50 years in jail.
Your obvious status as Archbishop cast a powerful shadow over this offending. Your conduct was permeated by staggering arrogance.
Instead, he could be out within 4, the judge dismissing defence submissions that Pell's actions were a moment of lunacy.
The first episode in the priest's sacristy involved a brazen and forcible sexual attack upon the 2 victims. At some point during the episode, you even told your victims to be quiet because they were crying.
The judge needing to weigh up the gravity of Pell's crime with that of his personal circumstance. Describing the abuse as brazen and callous, he told the court that the Cardinal had never shown any remorse. But the judge also had to consider Pell's age. At 77, he has poor health and the fact he has no criminal record.
The sentence sends a loud warning globally that, you will pay for the crimes even if it's 40, 50, 60 years ago.
But in words voiced by his lawyer, one of Pell's victims was more reserved.
It is hard for me for the time being
to take comfort in this outcome. Everything is overshadowed by the forthcoming appeal.
A tough time too for the family of the other victim who died of a heroin overdose before he could see justice.
31 years old and you're dead. What a waste of a life.
There are many who still believe George Powell's pleas of innocence. This angry confrontation outside court illustrating a nation's divide.
This has been an unjust witch hunt. The mob want to crucify the Catholic Church.
But many here say today Powell's victims got some justice.
He destroyed lives. He allowed other pedophiles to destroy lives.
Taking solace in the judge's words that Powell may not live long enough to be released.
Britain is right now waking up to more chaos and uncertainty after a second shattering defeat for Theresa May's Brexit plan. The UK's politicians voted against the deal in what's being called the most important parliamentary vote in decades. The stunning setback comes just over 2 weeks before it's set to leave the European Union on March 29th.
Losing her voice in the Commons.
I profoundly regret the decision that this House has taken tonight.
And losing more of her authority and her grip on Britain's future.
I continue to believe that by far the best outcome is that the United Kingdom leaves the European Union in an orderly fashion with a deal.
But moments earlier...
Order!
Almost 400 fellow lawmakers didn't think her current deal was good enough. They dealt Theresa May another resounding defeat, rejecting her efforts for a second time.
The ayes to the right, 242. The noes to the left, 391.
Outside, it wasn't gasps, but cheers from those who want to stay part of the EU.
Tonight we can really see that Theresa May's deal is completely dead. Even her own cabinet can't support it properly, nor even the Brexiteers, so I think her deal is dead.
I think it would be obscene for any government to let us leave with no deal, and I can't see any government agreeing to it.
Frustration too in the likes of Luton, which voted to leave.
The noes to the left, 391.
It's all such a mess. It's just something else that's not been agreed. So I used to be interested in politics, but now I'm just losing the will to live.
I'm not surprised at the vote tonight. I'm quite happy for no deal.
The best deal! Brexit! The noise isn't going away. Time is ticking. It's just over 2 weeks before the scheduled divorce date.
The Prime Minister's run down the clock and the clock has been run out on her. Maybe it's time instead we had a general election and the people could choose who their government should be.
For Theresa May, leaving Parliament after the crushing vote had a much clearer path than leaving the EU.
Two famous moms have found themselves at the center of an alleged college admission scam. Hollywood stars Felicity Huffman and Lori Loughlin are accused of paying backhanders to get their kids into elite universities.
Actress Felicity Huffman released on $250,000 bond after being arrested in the largest alleged college admission scam ever. Her husband, actor William H. Macy, seen entering the courthouse. Huffman is one of 50 people charged, including actress Lori Loughlin, in Operation Varsity Blues.
The FBI uncovered what we believe is a rigged system, robbing students all over the country of their right at a fair shot to getting into some of the most elite universities in this country.
Investigators say 33 wealthy parents paying up to $6 million to college consultant William Singer, who they say paid off SAT and ACT proctors and bribed coaches to help land their children at top schools like Yale, Georgetown, and Stanford. The money allegedly funneled tax-free through Singer's fake charity.
You're asking for a bribe?
Felicity Huffman, the former star of Desperate Housewives, allegedly paid Singer $15,000 to help arrange for her daughter to take the SAT at a site Singer controlled, where he could arrange for a proctor to secretly correct her answers. Singer today pleaded guilty to multiple charges, including racketeering and conspiracy to defraud.
Singer and his associates used stock photos that they pulled off the internet, sometimes photoshopping the face of the child onto the picture of the athlete.
Tonight, actress Lori Loughlin, the former star of Full House, is facing arrest too. Her fashion designer husband arrested today. The couple allegedly paying $500,000 in bribes to get their two daughters considered as recruits for the USC crew team, even though the girls didn't row, even submitting a photo of one daughter on a rowing machine. Loughlin's daughter Olivia, now a freshman at USC and popular social media influencer, seen here, sounding like a lot of kids talking about college.
I do want the experience of like game days, partying. I don't really care about school, as you guys all know.
She later apologized, saying she was grateful, calling school a privilege and a blessing. Tonight, prosecutors insisting this alleged scam has real consequences.
There can be no separate college admission system for the wealthy, and I'll add that there will not be a separate criminal justice system either.
And now back home to some entertainment news, and Silas Kania, known to many by his stage name Psyche, will be releasing his Volume 1 album. His album, titled Minigulai E&B, will start selling at different locations around the country on Friday.
It is songs like Sila, Clara, Guria and many more that have become hits on PNG airwaves. The young lad from East New Britain province has produced many singles over the years featuring various PNG artists. This time around, Psyche will be launching his Volume 1 album titled Minigulai E&B.
Title of the album is Minigulai E&B. Minigulai is Minigulai and bigla pisin pun bled lo place Minigulai and bigla kanasum bigla pisin ENB kanasum.
The album, produced under the label Jelly Sounds, has 15 songs which are sung in English, Tok Pisin and the Kuanua language. Being the son of PNG music legend Leonard Kania, the style of music is no different to his father's. Psyche has brought the original Tolai rock back into the album.
Sakalo to probably to become to setting platform na mis bibla lik mlakam blas ronan tap smoothly before also broken boost na mi blas scam tol ronan tap platform or setting finish the music industry.
The album will be released on Friday at Vision City and will be sold at 50 Kina. After the first 2 weeks of sales, Papindo will purchase the album, selling it throughout the country.
After this week sales, Papindo ba pay mo full CD lomi, so after 1 week after, Papindo ba welcome sales nationwide.
He will be doing his album tour beginning in Port Moresby on the 26th of April at the Cosmopolitan.
This opening concert makakaploya, I look forward to them. Nalol narapla Santa Susem Rabaul, Buka, Lae, Goroka, Hagen. Wanimo, yeah.
The singer is being backed by Niugini Eyes, Amalabak Logistics, Tokiwa Printing, Jeldy Sounds, Covernote Productions, Ratubon Multimedia and Creative Events. Elijah Levitt, National EMTV News.
Coming up next in Chukai Sports, we'll give you all the updates on the SB Hunters. Stay with us.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. The SPPNG Hunters haven't made any major changes to the team from last weekend, with only one player returning from suspension and one sidelined with injury. The team is expecting a boost from the home crowd on Sunday when they take on the Northern Pride at 3 p.m.
The 10-0 loss to the Tweed-Head Seagulls, suffered by the Hunters, is a first. The first time they were left scoreless.
This time we've never scored a point against any other team in 5 years history, so
And I don't think the boys there knew about that, so I made it known to them today. So, we always score at least 4 points, 2 points, or 6-10 points there. But
despite the loss, Coach Michael Marum is not eager to make major changes. The only 2 changes is the return of Junior Rao from judiciary and an 8-week injury to Ila Alu. The coach is more concerned about the combination of the fullback, the hooker and the halves.
I didn't want to make too many changes first game last weekend. So there's a lot of work for the halves to do. William, Mone, Charlie. So don't want to put too much pressure on them, but the other boys are knocking on the door there. So so second game we'll see how they go. Maybe they'll step up this weekend at home. So
the Sunday afternoon game at 3 p.m. against the Northern Pride will test the team once more. The Pride coming off a strong win where Kumul Nene McDonald starred in last week.
They'll be naming their side today. I spoke to Nene last weekend, so hopefully it doesn't come up. But yeah. Bit tough one. Yeah, they scored 4 tries against Dolphins, and also Dolphins scored 4 tries there. I think the goal kicking was a difference. Jack Clifford there. So,
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
And Niugini has continued their partnership with the SP Hunters by extending their 1-year silver sponsorship today. And Niugini has been partners with the SP Hunters for the past 6 years.
The partnership will cover all of the SP Hunters' travels to and from the country during the season. The partnership will also see Niugini cater for teams in the Queensland Cup, travelling to the country for matches.
To sign this another year agreement again shows the relationship that we've built over the last 2 years, growing together with the Hunters and our preferred and our choice airline partner for our team, the SP-PNG Hunters.
Niugini will not only fly teams to and from PNG, but will also assist players travelling to other provinces in the country.
Celebrate and sign off just before the official kickoff for our first home game here at the NFS to sign the agreement with Niugini. Is our SP-PNG Hunters official courier to and from, and also our visiting teams travel here as well. So on behalf of the team at PNG RFL, I want to say thank you to Niugini for their continued support.
The SP Hunters and Niugini have been in partnership since the start of the club in 2014. This is the 6th year of their partnership.
Privilege for Niugini, especially as being the national carrier, to be involved with the Hunters team. It's a fantastic opportunity.
Niugini ensured travelling to and from Queensland as well as within Papua New Guinea is carried out smoothly.
It aligns perfectly with Air Niugini and our new higher altitudes program, our customer focus and our focus on the PNG people. This couldn't have come at a better time for us.
Elijah Levette, National EMTV Sports.
Cricket and Rugby League had a swap code session today organised by SP Brewery. The session saw the SP PNG Hunters and the PNG Barramundis spend the morning testing out and swapping skills from their respective codes.
SP Brewery as the naming rights sponsor of the SP PNG Hunters and the associate sponsor of the Hebo Barramundis organised a swap codes session today between the national men's cricket team, the Hebo Barramundis, and the SP PNG Hunters. The day started with the Hunters taking part in cricket at the Amini Park, the home of PNG cricket. The team spent an hour at the cricket grounds, facing a few balls and learning the basics. The Barramundis then travelled to the home of the SP PNG Hunters, the Oil Search National Football Stadium. Both teams quick to get into 2 separate teams before they got into a kicking game, testing the players' hand-eye coordination skills. And their ability to communicate well and catch the ball. The coaches, Joe Dawes for the Barramundis, chatting with Hunters coach Michael Marum, possibly exchanging a few tips. The day ended with a game of touch footy, with both teams showing their athleticism. Barramundis vice captain Charles Amini grateful for the experience.
It was a very fun experience. I think that this relationship that we've built today hopefully can continue further on. But I think the boys have really learned a lot, just having fun games, but also learning of something, playing a really long touch game, but being under fatigue shows that you can still complete your skills under pressure, under fatigue. So,
the men's national cricket team has been training the last 3 months for the T20 Cup qualifiers.
Yeah, we're pretty full on. We're similar something to the Hunters. We train every day, Monday to Friday, and I'm not sure about the weights that we take along with them, but we try to work really hard. We just finished from our preseason and getting ready for a really big tournament next week and also the following month. So we've been working really hard these past 3 months.
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
Trukai Sports continues with rugby and cricket abroad. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. The SPPNG Hunters had a tough first game. In addition to the loss, they also suffered an injury to one of the forwards, Ila Alu.
It is not the start you would like in the season opener, but it is a blow to the Hunters starting lineup.
From last weekend's game, Ila Alu will be out for a couple of weeks, maybe two months maybe. Yes, he had a sustained injury from that game last weekend against the Tweed, second half. Yeah.
The 23-year-old from Central and Simbu has been reduced to the sideline with a sling, and he explained how he fractured his left hand.
Probably threw my hand a little bit far from my body than expected and got accidentally the elbow of the opponent, which I felt numbness together, but then thought that it was just a disturbance with the nerve.
He got an X-ray in Brisbane and is expected to sit out training for 6 to 8 weeks. The news was pretty devastating for the young prop.
Yeah, it's something that, prepared all throughout the preseason just to play, and in the round one, it's unfortunate I got the injury, but that's something that I can't control.
The outspoken Hunter is keeping a positive outlook and is not going to let the injury keep him from making a full recovery.
Something that I'm focused on right now is more on getting myself right, especially with the rehabilitation of my arm and all that, getting it right as fast as possible before getting back into training with the boys.
Fidelis Sukina, National EMTV Sports.
Samoa's Prime Minister has launched a stinging attack on World Rugby, accusing it of setting up a new competition which will treat island nations as breeding farms. He's joined the growing chorus to dissent against plans for a new global competition as the major players in the game meet in Dublin over the next 48 hours.
Dealing out the big hits with devastating results. Rugby Samoa's chairman and prime minister keen to send World Rugby much the same message.
It's more a question of greed and selfishness. This is hypocrisy of the highest order.
World Rugby's plan to hold a 12-nation competition starting in 2022 has sparked international criticism as island nations are reportedly off the invitation list. Instead, Italy and the US are likely to be on it, despite not being in the top 12 world rankings.
This is a big blow to the aspirations of our young players.
Rugby Samoa says it feels betrayed by New Zealand and Australia for not pushing their case.
What's the use of continuing on when we are ignored by our own brothers, blood brothers in the game, Australia and New Zealand?
He says vital changes are needed to make things fairer, including setting up a tribunal to adjudicate on contentious issues. But World Rugby is insisting no firm decisions have been made about the structure of the new competition. Samoa's slamming of World Rugby is timely. It comes just ahead of the international body's executive meeting in Dublin this week. And you can bet that will be high on an already packed agenda. Samoa's Prime Minister will be heading to the World Rugby Council meeting in May, and there'll be no chance he'll be sitting on the sidelines.
And that ends Trukai Sports. The weather details for the next 24 hours when we return.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details were proudly The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
A quick look at the weather forecast in the southern region. Cloudy with some showers in Port Moresby, Daru, Kerema, rain and thunderstorms in Alotau, and showers and thunderstorms in Popondetta.
The weather details were proudly brought to you by Dulux, celebrating 50 years in PNG and the only paint made in PNG.
And that's been the news, sport and weather for today, Wednesday the 13th of March 2019. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.